Okay, we got another sponsored battery pack. This one I'm really excited about because this thing is affordable and will do 1800 watts. That's a full 15 amp circuit that will cover most appliances that you have in your house. So this is the first time I'm getting an affordable battery pack that can actually power pretty much anything you've got. So we're gonna take it out, we're gonna test it, and show you what it's all about. This is actually something I do with these battery packs a lot, which is to help me boost the car, because inevitably you end up parking somewhere pretty far from an outlet. So if you want to run a charger and just slowly charge the car up and then boost it without stressing the system too much, then yeah, you're kind of stuck with either a lot of extension cords or one of these, which does a much better job. Only pulling 30 watts right now. All right, today's job is to get this radiator into this van. This is a 2004 I think, which means it's just about 20 years old. And the plastic from the early 2000s has about this lifespan. So I'm starting to have components crack and break. The top of my radiator is actually made of plastic, and the fitting for the hose is broken, and it's starting to kind of release a little bit from the aluminum radiator core. So it's leaking. I can't drive it like that, it'll overheat. So I'm gonna yank it out. I've also changed a couple plugs and coils, all the plugs and all the coils. And yeah, we're gonna get this thing back on the road because it's cold and rainy this time of year, and I don't want a scooter if I don't have to. What do you think of that, Barry?
I think it's probably your problem right there. This little red guy's chafed open, and this guy.
Oh, it's chafed open, the red one too?
Yeah.
Interesting, because that's not been whatever that is, has not been a problem yet. That's been chewed. That's rats.
Oh.
That's definitely been chewed. But this, I think this might have happened when the when I was misfiring and the engine was shaking like a motherfucker. That's why. That's what did that. That'll do it. All right, now that the radiator's in, we're gonna fix that broken ground cable. I've got these leftover welding cable from some battery pack ages ago that I stripped. And you know, one of those like old guys who likes to just keep every stupid piece of junk. Well, this stupid piece of junk has come in handy. I'm just gonna throw it in there and replace that one section of broken ground cable. This time I found. Yeah, I'm hungry. Right, we've got fresh cable, welding cable to the frame, welding cable to, I think that's the steering box. Or no, it's the steering box and the transmission. Okay, anyway, to the engine there. All right, well, that explains my starting issues, so hopefully it starts a lot better now. And we've got the radiator clipped up. We're just gonna fill it with water and get this party started. Woo! Radiator in. Let's go. Nice. And replacing that ground cable made a huge difference. Nice. Oh, it feels good to have a car again. Okay, so we got the coolant in here. The radiator is working good. I've mounted some of the plastic bits back. Unfortunately, because it's been sitting for a while and it's so damp out here, I've had some more mold come back in. So we're using the lessons we learned on perihelion. It's vinegar wash. So this entire van smells like a fish and chip stand now. That'll kill all of the mold, and then we bake it all out and let it dry out and out the window as it goes. So I'll be putting a space heater in here and an extension cord and just closing it up. But it also gives us a chance to see if that heater can actually put out 1800 watts. So I'm going to do that. And while it does that, I'm going to install new gas struts so that this automatic door finally works properly, hopefully. So close. I think once I wear it in a little bit, it'll start working. But it's pretty obvious that the motor is a little tired. Well, they've obviously cut some corners. It's a $900 battery pack at 1150 watt hours and an 1800 watt continuous power out of the AC outlets and a 3000 watt surge. That's a lot of specs for the price. They're undercutting a lot of the competition here. So what corners have they cut? That's always what I'm looking at. So I'm seeing they got lithium iron phosphate batteries inside. They've got nice outlets with good covers on them. They got 2 wireless chargers up top, 4 USB chargers, which is enough. They got 1 12 volt, which is enough. And they got 2 expansion ports over here. And they've got, which has now become standard, I think, the AC charger is built in. So it just runs off of a standard kind of computer connector. They run the solar cells off an XT60 connector, which is also easy to get. You know, nothing proprietary here. They've got a good quality LCD. All in all, very happy with those things. Seems to me they've cut the corners on the quality of the plastic that encases this. It does feel middle of the run, not high quality, not low quality, but fine. The buttons are still pressable and like it doesn't flex very much. It doesn't buckle. It achieves what it achieves, but it doesn't feel as high quality as maybe some of the Blue Eddies and other stuff I've tested. Of course, it's undercutting them by a significant margin too, so that's fine as far as I'm concerned. They've cut out a flashlight. There's no flashlight built into this. I would have liked to see a flashlight. I like them, but most people don't, so I understand why they've cut them out. Let's talk about these solar cells they sent with it. This is a 400 watt kit. This is the biggest one that they sell. They also sell a 200 and a 100. It's cheap. This adds, this is $1,500. So this adds $600 to the price tag for a 400 watt solar array. That's not a bad deal for portable cells. You don't usually find them that cheap. Now, they've done a weird thing with them, which I think is why they're cheap. They're polycrystalline, not monocrystalline, and they are rigid. So these are semi-flexible, like I'm flexing them a little bit, but I can feel from the weight and the design and how they are, like in the size and the wattage, that these are, yeah, solid panels with aluminum backing plates probably inside, and they don't feel like the flexible ones that I see most of the time in these kits. If they were flexible ones, there'd be a lot more of it. It'd be bigger. They'd be running a lower level of efficiency. So I'm kind of happy about this because the way I look at it, you don't really need a flexible panel, but that means that they're probably less resilient to being stepped on. So if you're gonna lay this out on the grass, you're gonna want to be careful. Maybe if your dog is small, no problem. If you've got kids running around, I don't know if I would trust, you know, an 80-pound kid walking on these cells might crack it, right? And certainly a 200 and whatever I am walking on this would definitely crack it. So I will be a lot more careful. Now they did set it up with these little loops up top, which I think is a smart idea. I haven't seen this before, but I would love to do this on all the ones moving forward. Yeah, it lets you string it up, lets you use it in a bunch of different places I wasn't able to use other cells before, so very excited about that. Anyway, I'm going to use this pack and these solar cells throughout this episode. I'll use and abuse, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Quit ruining it. Go away. It's Barry's birthday today, so he wants to be the center of attention constantly. Happy birthday, Barry.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be 40?
It feels the same. Henry and I were joking. She's sick, and I'm old now. It's not Sailor Barry and Haley anymore. It's
sick and old sailing.
Sick and tired sailing. Sick and tired sailing. That's a good. Good branding. I like it. Right on. So I've got a temporary sling set up here with these ropes. That's what the carabiners and those little tiny hoops are useful for. I would say the carabiners are a little cheap. Like I wouldn't trust this in a blow or anything, but kind of a cool situation. If you got a scenario where you need a little extra shelter and you can sling it up between some trees, it can double as something to keep the rain off and to recharge the battery bank. I'll keep hanging around here until the sun hopefully pokes his head out and see if it actually works. But it is what's going on my solar panels on my boat too. I'm not making any power right now. Just charging this thing, and an idea popped in my head. Hey, if this thing could charge as much as it can charge, it's 1500 plus watts right there. Is it gonna pop a circuit when I go and plug something in? Because it has pass-through power, it has the ability to act as an emergency backup. And yeah, it automatically ramped down the charging right away and ran this. And then as soon as I turned it off, it ramped up the charging again, which is actually a way bigger deal than a lot of y'all realize. Because if you're running this off a generator, like I have had big inverter chargers running off of generators and had them just like overload the generator over and over again because a fridge will come on or some random thing in my boat that is plugged into this. So that means really, if you're charging off of this, you can control all power going through from the generator to be maxed out at 1500 watts. That's amazing. That's so cool. And it didn't turn off the charging either. It ramped it down. So I was like burning off my gun there at like 1200 and it was pulling 300 watts of charging still. That's really, I've never seen that feature yet. I'm sure it exists on other devices, but that is really nice. I'm kind of tempted to just use this as the pass-through for my boat. And literally, anytime I'm charging off of shore power or off of a generator or anything else like that, I'll just charge this battery bank and then it'll charge the rest. And then it can handle the up and down and control and make sure that I don't pull too much power off of the wall circuit and blow something. So yeah, I love that. Because my boat doesn't do that right now at all. It's a Christmas miracle.
Watch out for the spiders. There's spiders all over this thing.
How do you like living on a boat at a dock in the winter with the snow?
The dock is really nice.
Yeah, it's so quiet,
Yeah.
peaceful, clang, clang, clang.
I mean, I managed to do the dishes today, and that's been like a 2-week thing that we've had planned. So
Okay, well there you go.
yeah, I don't know. Better than it would be out there.
Look at that, just roly-poly. This is the end of a blow. At the end of every blow here in the bay, we get a nice big roll. Look at Perry go. Ooh, oi! Boy, is she rocking. I'm gonna clip it too. Is that like the power? Okay, you know it's gonna. The dock is rocking, man. Your tripod's up in my shop. Gonna grab that.
Hopefully the best middle.
All right, we got a massive amount of snowfall yesterday and last night, and as a result, down here we're out of power. It doesn't take much to knock the power out around here. We got a lot of big, heavy trees falling power lines all the time. So we're going to use our power pack to run my shop today. Unfortunately, it's not got enough electricity for me to run my giant 4 kilowatt heater, but we've got some candles and some other stuff, and hopefully it'll warm up the space a little bit, and then I can get back to work. Alright, well, the van's running great. I'm not going anywhere in it today. As you can tell from my attire, I am about to climb into a hot tub. I'm doing the smart thing and house sitting for the next 3 weeks. I'm still going to run down to the boat when I can, not today. And, you know, for the time being, just soak in hot tub in a snowstorm is probably a once-in-a-lifetime thing, but I'm gonna really love it. I'm also keeping the Alpower's battery pack with me because this island's prone to power outages, especially during a snowstorm. So it just gives me a lot more confidence to have that pack, have the panels in the back of my van, and just know that I can limp by. I've got a lot of editing work to do, and with my Starlink satellite dish and that battery pack, I can basically be online for 8 hours, and if I throttle the dish and only use it when I need it, then I can probably get a full 12 hours in. So yeah, not a bad option at all. And for the price, I think that this is probably, well, it's the one I would get, honestly. Because 1800 watts, I think, is necessary if you're really looking at the big packs. You have to get a full 15 amp circuit because there's so many appliances that don't just ramp up by wattage, but ramp up by time on. So lots of my devices go full 1800 watts, 0 watts, full 1800 watts, 0 watts. And there's a surprising amount of things that do that. So I highly suggest getting an 1800 watt power pack. And this one is the most affordable on the market. Now, if you're gonna kick the snot out of it, if you're gonna be in and out of the ocean spray regularly, this might not be the device for you. You might wanna splurge and get a little bit more waterproofing and a little bit better build quality. But honestly, I think most people, this is the one right here. Save yourself some cash. This thing's amazing. Woo, that's cold. Oh, that's the shit. So if you need me over the next couple weeks, I'll be right here in this tub, relaxing, enjoying my life.